Hello everyone, time for another vinyl update for you all. Got a lot of interesting stuff to show you today. It's been quite a while since my last vinyl update, so collected a lot of good stuff in the meantime, and I'll be showing you all of those in a minute. Recently, here in Cork, we had the annual jazz festival. I caught a couple of very good gigs. The highlight of which was a gig by Billy Cobham, the jazz fusion drummer legend himself. I managed to catch that with the VC's own Ben Costello, who I'm sure a lot of you will be familiar with here. He doesn't actually post videos, but he does. He keeps in contact with a lot of people on the VC. But hopefully he will be putting up some of his own videos soon. So we'll look forward to that. Anyway, called Billy Cobham live. Fantastic gig. Absolutely barnstorming performance. From Billy himself. He may be almost 70, but he certainly can hit the sticks. And he was performing his album Spectrum, so it was to commemorate the 40th anniversary of since when that album was first released. And I picked up I don't have that album on vinyl, but I picked up the CD, and I got it signed by Billy Cobham himself after the show. So he's a very nice guy, very obliging. Ben Costello got him to sign all of his vinyl, his Billy Cobham album, something like 6 of them. So there we go. The great Billy Cobham's autograph. As it was the weekend that it was, some of the charity shops here in Cork, they usually have a jazz vinyl sale, so I picked up a couple of interesting items. I'm just showing them to you now. Starting off with the legendary Miles Davis, and this is Miles Davis Greatest Hits on CBS. Compilation album, compilation of some performances from the 60s. Very nice copy, very good condition. It is not an original, it is it's a mid-70s reissue, I think. It's got that kind of reddish orangey kind of sunburst sleeve, I think it's called, with that kind of Pac-Man type lettering for the CBS label. So excellent album. Love that cover as well. Very kind of very brooding kind of a picture of Miles there on the cover. There we go. And that wasn't the only Miles Davis vinyl that I got over the jazz weekend. I also picked up this Miles in the Sky, late 60s album. This again is not an original. It's a relatively recent reissue. I think it may possibly be from about the last 10 years or so. But again, really nice find. Moving on. This is from the band Robert sorry, I never know how to pronounce his name. Robert Wyatt. The band that he set up after he left the Soft Machine. This is Matching Mole, their self-titled debut album that is on CBS. Again, not an original. It's that CBS label again, indicating that it's probably from the late 70s or possibly the early 80s. It's got some writing on the back. Somebody wrote their name on the back. Year, January 1980. Previous owner. This is, love this album. I've been looking for it for a while. I would have much preferred to have gotten an original, but still I'm happy with this. It's just a fantastic album. Still very much in the kind of style of Soft Machine, kind of the Canterbury scene. So I highly recommend this for anyone who may not have heard it, or may not be very familiar with Robert Wyatt's work. So there we go. Moving on. Now, there was a record fair here in Cork recently, and the following album, I spotted this, but I didn't actually buy it then. It was a bit on the pricey side, and I really wanted it, but I checked on Discogs, and lo and behold, there was a copy for considerably less. Now this is by the Edgar Broughton band. It is their third album, self-titled, and it is more commonly known as the Meat album, for reasons which I don't really need to go into, as you can see for yourself. It's quite some striking cover there. Beat that carcass. So this is on Harvest Records. The sleeve is kind of I don't know if you can really see it very clearly, but it's kind of a textured sleeve that's made to kind of look like skin. So like this picture here on the back of a slab of meat, it looks very real. That kind of textured effect on the sleeve makes it look, well, almost, it makes it look very I won't say alive, because it's not, but it makes it look very real as a kind of an unusual effect. And this is it's a first pressing, on Harvest. As you can see, there is no EMI box present, so that marks it as a first pressing, and the vinyl is in really, really nice condition. It only has this kind of a slight flaw on the cover. There's a bit of a tear there where maybe a sticker was torn away, and it doesn't have the original inner sleeve. But still, I'm very pleased with this. This is a really, really nice pickup. So there we go. And now for something completely different. At the same record fair, which was held in the Unitarian Church here in Cork, I further added to my Bowie collection, my ever-expanding Bowie collection. I picked up, this is one that was missing from my list. It's Pin-Ups, so from 1973, original, and it has RCA label. Has the original picture sleeve as well. There we go. So this is an album which, you know, if you're familiar with it, it's consists of cover. It's all Bowie's interpretation of various songs, including there's quite a few songs from the 60s. Where Have All the Good Times Gone by the Kinks. See Emily Play by Pink Floyd. Here Comes the Night. So it's an interesting entry to you know, Bowie's early canon. So that was one that I've been meaning to pick up for a long time as well. So glad I got that eventually. Another album which I've been meaning to get for a long time, and which is plugged another gap in my collection, is Kraftwerk Trans Europe. What am I saying? Excuse me. Tour de France. So the Tour de France soundtracks, the LP from 2003, their most recent studio album. This is a double album. Now, I saw Kraftwerk for the very first time recently in Dublin, in Play Marley Park, and they played quite a few songs off this as part of their 3D show. Something I meant to show to you earlier as well on a previous video, but this is that's the 3D glasses that everybody got at the show. They were handed out, so I kept that as a little souvenir. But yeah, so Tour de France soundtracks. Love this album. It really is. It's just up. I think it's up there with their early stuff. You know, it's. Will it remain their last studio album? We'll have to wait and see. Still had Florian in the lineup at this stage. So there we go. Tour de France. Another album which I picked up at that same record fair was this, Hawkwind. This is Roadhawks. It's a compilation album from the mid-70s, around about 75, 76. It's got some of their early singles on it, Urban Gorilla, Silver Machine, etc. So it's on Liberty. Nice gatefold sleeve there, and it is in really nice condition as well. And the vinyl is in a nice state too. This is a kind of I hadn't seen this particular label before. It's an Fame. It's an offshoot of Liberty Records. So interesting. I'll finish up now with two albums, two brand new albums. This is the latest on boards of Canada, Tomorrow's Harvest. I got this, I had a all-in-one voucher which had about few, which I'd almost used up, so I used the last of it on this. I bought it in Golden Discs of all places, and so the latest LP from them. It's a double album. It's a biggie. Yeah, and it's an interesting one. Side 2 is second disc. It's quite dark, I think, compared to the first side, and it really holds up to the earlier stuff, I think. It's on Warp Records. So, and now finally, on Wednesday night here in Cork, the legendary band Pair Ubu played a gig in the pavilion, and Pair Ubu, led by the legendary David Thomas, been running for something like nearly 40 years now. David Thomas, he's the only remaining original member, but saw the gig, fantastic. I'd never seen him live before, really enjoyed it. They played, I wasn't familiar with most of the songs they played. A lot of them were from their forthcoming album, but it was a stormer of a gig, and they had their current album, Lady from Shanghai, for sale after the gig, and I picked this up and I got David Thomas himself to autograph it. There you go. That is his signature there, with that squiggle. Had to track him down. It was the end of the gig, and he was a bit grumpy, but I chatted to him for a small bit. He was happy enough to sign the album, and he's fine. The whole grumpy thing, I'd say, is just an act. I'd say he's a big softie. But I also got it signed by their current drummer, Steve Melman. That's his signature there. Really nice guy. He could keep talking all night. Had a big long chat with him. So I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it, and I'll let you all know what I think of it. But that's it for now. That's my latest vinyl updated, done and dusted. So keep your eyes out for the next update, and thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon.